everybody? This is Johnny Zig. You tuned in with the Devil's Mic. Today we got a couple guys from the BEARER. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Colton. I play drums.
My name is Michael. I play guitar and do vocals.
All right, and how long have you been playing drums?
14 years.
And guitars?
I've been playing guitars for a while.
A long time.
A long time.
Right. And how did everybody meet?
So I was in a band called Ugly Twin, and Colton came to one of our shows. He had a Refuse shirt on, so the singer of Ugly Twin made friends with him because Refuse is a cool band. And at the time, we were actually losing our bass player, and we needed a bass player. So we asked Colton to join, and the rest is history.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so what brought all you guys together? Like, how did you recruit everybody else?
Yeah. So Ugly Twin was kind of coming to an end, but before that, I just wanted kind of a different outlet. And so I had a friend named Austin that him and I had done a couple projects together, and we'd been wanting to do a heavy project together. So I got him. He was our one of the original guitar players for the BEARER. And then our friend Ian, that was the bass player for a while. He had moved down. He plays guitar in a band called Designs, and him and I had been wanting to do a project together, so it just kind of all fit. And then our vocals, Aaron, I've known for a really long time. Him and I did a hardcore project back in like 2002, 2005-ish time, and ever since that quit, I've been wanting to do something again with him. So it all just kind of fell into place of all these, periphery people and people I'd known for a really long time. And of course, Colton and I were already in a band together, so it just kind of worked out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how long when did the BEARER actually get started?
I think it was January of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
About right.
Okay. So let's go ahead and just hop right into the music as far as your EP. So we'll go ahead and just begin with the BEARER, the self-titled EP y'all got released in July of 2016.
Yep.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. So y'all kind of just hit the ground running, just got the band together and put some songs together and just, started recording, or?
Yeah, we knew that we wanted to be a band that was taken seriously and looked professional from the start. So before we ever played any shows, before we announced anything, we wanted to have songs that people could listen to, so it wasn't just like an empty Facebook page when we announced our band.
Right.
So we went and recorded with the drummer of Designs. We recorded 4 songs, and yeah, Pluto was nice enough to help us put that out, so we just wanted to have something ready to go when we played our first show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get everybody going, just like, this is what we're about.
Yeah.
Come check
Yeah.
us out kind of thing.
Yeah, have something to show for the work we've been putting into it.
Right.
It's definitely not as cohesive as our sophomore album. It's a little bit disjointed, but it was the first songs that we wrote, and we were like super all about them. So, but it's like kind of a good preview of what we've become as far as like kind of sludgy, but still very intricate and straight up hardcore. So
Definitely,
yeah.
yeah. Y'all got a lot of good, I guess it flows well together. I mean, even by what you guys were just saying, it's kind of something that, kind of came about. But, going into that sophomore album, it kind of, lays out that platform, I guess is who we are.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
And that was kind of the idea of the BEARER, because with Ugly Twin, it was more of like, there's so many cool parts that we had, and like all of our songs had probably like 6 or 7 different parts, and I was just trying to be intricate as possible. And it was like really an idea to have that go along, but have this side project, i.e. the BEARER, where I could do like a standard verse chorus bridge kind of thing, and get a cool part, but like make it into one big song, So I felt like I could identify or quote unquote fans or audience would be able to identify with that kind of music a little bit easier, obviously, because you're repeating there. So yeah, that kind of molded on that first album, but not until the second album I feel like we kind of really fleshed that out.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, within the writing process of the self-titled EP, is there any type of like music theory that comes into that, or how does the writing process actually work as far as playing the parts?
That was a lot different than Fiction. Austin, one of the original guitar players, had a lot more to do with that one than the next release. So I think 2 out of the 4 songs were riffs that he came up with and we expanded on. And then me and Michael came up with the other 2 songs. And I'm terrible at music theory. He's way better at it than I am.
Right.
So from my perspective, there's no music theory in it at all, but he might have more to say about that.
No, I mean, to me, I love music theory. I love like the headiness of it all, but I feel like it can definitely get in the way of the feel of music, and I believe that's way more important. You know, like just having that emotion inside of you is way more than knowing why these two notes belong together or what the fifth of something is, you know.
Right.
So going into the songs, I tend to constantly write little riffs and everything and then just put them together, you know. So that worked well for my older bands, but with this it was more of like intentional, you know, putting these together, and not so much in the theory way, but just the feeling way. But the theory kind of comes at the end of that. So like when I'm thinking of second guitar parts or what the bass player could be doing that accents the verse or something, you know, that's to me where theory comes in and be like, oh, you should play a third on that because that's going to lift it a little bit here, and, you know, that kind of thing. So at the front of it, we don't do a lot of theory, a lot of heady kind of music stuff. It's all what feels good, you know.
Right.
Because to me that's what music should be, you know. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just have that emotion to kind of let out what you're feeling within, like, you know, your guitar playing or drums, and then just let it build from there, and then, you know, work on, kind of build that foundation, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel that, yeah, I mean, what you're saying, it's portraying what we're feeling there. So I mean, I think that's why the albums, both of them are, you know, they're cohesive as far as like the verse chorus kind of stuff that we're setting out to do, but there's a lot of different nuances in there because of our writing style of just like jamming and like really feeling the emotion. And so one day we could both be pretty morose and we're gonna write a like sludgy song, or the next day just be all about life and want to just write a breakdown or something, you know. So like, and then it kind of melds together. So it's really building on that emotion to hopefully, you know, trigger something in other people.
Exactly. Okay. So to actually build off of that, looking at the titles and the EP artwork, it almost feels as if it's about some kind of, I guess, badass, like warrior type of dude that goes and just like fucks shit up.
Yeah.
And, you know, tell us, you know, a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Aaron wrote the lyrics for that, and at the time, the first...
Kind of the artwork was his idea too.
Yeah, the first round of writing that he did totally got scrapped. He wanted to do like this rock star story and like have...
Like rock opera almost,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wanted to do.
But then it kind of got cheesy, and he was like, no, I'm not into that. So he started digging up old writings about berserkers and old wars and stories about that. And a lot of those are like war poems that he found that he took inspiration from.
Yeah,
and
like
melded into.
thousands of year old like Viking poetry.
Yeah.
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 Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually feel that too when you're listening to the whole album, you know.
And he definitely said that like he kind of melded that a little bit because he's ex-military. He spent a lot of time in the military.
Awesome.
So he kind of melded that with his stories and went on. Yeah. That we had a guy the owner of Pluto released, and he was like, you got to work with this guy. He's amazing. So we just kind of let him know what was going on. Aaron let him know that we were kind of going like that Viking route, but more, obviously we still love the space age. I'm super like sci-fi nerd. So, so kind of going that way, and that's just what the dude came up with. And I mean, there was a little changes here and there, but yeah, I mean, so just Viking space awesomeness.
Right.
Yeah, just like craziness. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so what, out of the entire EP, whenever you perform live, what would be, you know, we'll start with you, your favorite song to actually perform? Or
Off
like
of
perform?
that EP or
Off
everything?
of that EP.
Off of that EP, song. What's that one? Do you remember the song?
I know. We haven't played that in forever,
Yeah,
though.
I don't remember the
That's
song,
all right.
but Bloodmouth is usually like our fan favorite, I guess. But we haven't played that in a while either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloodmouth is really fun.
Mhm.
Just because it is very like that was the last song that we wrote for that EP, and so you can kind of see it getting into the follow-up fiction stuff where it is a verse, chorus. Like, all right, here's the breakdown. Everybody's expecting it. Here it comes, but it's groovy and expected.
All right, so going into the, just the music itself, what song lyric would you say actually, you actually take to heart?
Right.
Or feel it?
There's a part on Bloodmouth where Aaron chants 6x6.
Yeah.
Do you know what leads into that?
No.
No. Okay. And it's not necessarily something that means anything to me. It's just so powerful when he starts doing it. Like, you just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also another part in Bloodmouth where everything's kind of chaotic. It's very noisy, and all four of us got into a room and just started speaking the lyrics to that entire song while somebody was in the other room screaming. So you kind of hear that in the background.
Oh, wow.
And again, it's not necessarily anything that means something to me. It's just like crazy and powerful. It's just the way it feels and sounds.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, it's like an old, like Viking kind of poem or war anthem about like going into battle 6x6, because the berserkers were like 6 people at a time. And they were just, for people that don't know what a berserker is, basically these old Viking warriors where they were just like, I don't know if they like got drugged up or something, but they were just so war hungry where like they would just strip down, paint themselves, and like they were known to like even kill their own people just because they were just so battle hungry. And like 6x6 they would go in and just wreck shop, and so it's like at this end part where like the guitars are just like just like really annoying, almost just like bombarding you, and it's just this overlining sex kind of thing. And so it's this really cool just wave of noise just coming and kind of berating you in this weird, almost annoying tone. So it's really cool.
Yeah. And feeding off of that, as far as like the Viking Berserkers, that first EP, has a lot to do with that. Any type of relation to that with anybody in the band, or is just like something that someone was very interested in and just,
I'm very white. I'm very, very Northern European ancestry. But it was more of, I think, just, again, like Aaron's background with the military and him kind of finding out and reading stories about old Viking stuff, and it just kind of clicking with him. And he wanted a story to tell, and we thought it was a cool story. So not so much that like we're all obsessed with Viking mythology or anything, but of just more of, that's really cool. Let's do it,
Right, yeah. Kind of fits well with the genre as well. So let's move forward to the fiction. Fiction was released in March of 2017. Whenever I was reading on Bandcamp, it was just saying the concept is based on science fiction movies, books, TV shows, games, and other types of ill shit. You mentioned that you're a sci-fi nerd. Did you play any part as far as like writing the lyrics or anything?
I wrote the lyrics for Maru, which is a veiled attempt at writing lyrics about my faith or the lack of it, but in the words of like Mulder and Scully from the X-Files talking back and forth. And so it's like this dichotomy of Mulder being the believer in like aliens and everything like it is in the show, but also being the voice of a person who has faith in God, law, whatever you want to call it. And then there's Scully, who believes in science and fact, and atheist, agnostic, whatever you want to call it. And them just like talking back and forth, and no real side wins, but it's just both of them are screaming, I want to believe. There's something that I need to believe in, kind of thing.
Right.
And so that's the only part that I really had. Everything else is Aaron, I believe. Yeah.
And so with the entire album itself, I mean, based on what it's about, where did the idea of that come from, as far as like coming off of the BEARER EP to let's go with the sci-fi type feel?
Aaron was really set on doing concepts for each record. That's why the first one's all Viking themed and this one's all sci-fi. And he just started writing lyrics, I think the first one was Ruthless, maybe? And I think that's based off of Star Wars. And he just was like, well, I wrote these lyrics and I really like them, so I'm going to try to expand on this theme. And he didn't really get into any personal lyrics until we've got some new songs that we haven't released yet that are like his personal experiences, but he just kind of wanted to do a theme for each record. He chose sci-fi.
Gotcha. It's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And as far as the favorite song, y'all have a favorite on that album or EP in particular?
I think Maru's my favorite.
Maru's really fun to play. It's a straight Black Sabbath ripoff. It's really fun, and Colton's drums and the chorus are just ridiculous. It's really fun because I'm going half time on my guitar from the melody, and he's basically going double time at these crazy drum fills the whole time. So that's really fun. What is the? Yeah, man, they're all fun. I love all of our songs. They're like my kids, Yeah, I don't know if I could pick a favorite, honestly.
Yeah, Maru is selfishly
really
my
fun.
favorite because I have a really cool drum part in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just kick ass in that, and it's like, oh shit.
What's the other one you mainly wrote?
C-Beams.
C-Beams is really fun. C-Beams is really fun. Yeah. I don't know. They're all super fun.
Right.
They all have a different feel to them, So, yeah, I don't think I can pick a favorite.
Like them all equal.
Yeah.
Now, which I know we haven't really experienced any of y'all shows just yet, but as far as determining what songs to play in the set list, how do y'all, work that out?
Well, it has been the newest song we write usually gets thrown in and an older one gets taken out because we get bored of playing the same songs over and over again. But lately we brought some older songs back, and it's just kind of like when we play through the set, what would transition best into the next song. And also what's a good opener and closer.
Yeah.
That's the biggest deal.
I think the big, what Colton's saying is the opener and closer are the ones that I feel like we only really give credence to. All right, what's a cool, something opening that is going to catch people, what's a good ending off, letting people want more. But in the middle, I feel like it's just all about songs that we love to play, It's what do we want to play? So we don't have to really play what people expect us to play, obviously. So
yeah.
Not until we get into Japan. We're huge in Japan.
I know. I was about to ask y'all about that too, because I was looking through y'all's Instagram. Y'all have some vinyl set over in the shop in Japan.
Yeah, that was all Blasphemer Records and Coin Toss Records helped us put that out, and Ryan from Blasphemer. I think it was Ryan. It could have been Coin Toss. Either one of them somehow got that to happen.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Basically just distribution. Blasphemer has distribution over there, so have our record over there. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a minute. Now let's go ahead and move on to, as far as with Fiction, I wanted to talk about the vinyl covers. Holy shit.
They're so perfect.
The Beyonce one.
I love that
being
so much.
pregnant. So funny. And then also the Misfits Walk Among Us cover. That was pretty badass too. But how did the idea come about?
So since we had two labels helping us put it out, they kind of wanted to have their own exclusive thing so that they could each try to sell records, because if they both had the same thing, it'd be like whatever website's listed first, that's where people are going to go order it from. Right. So I think maybe Ryan from Blasphemer came up with that idea, and then Aaron came up with the Beyonce cover. And I tried to do one that was really cool and intricate, and they were like, no, we want this to look as shitty as possible.
Yeah,
And then Ryan from Blasphemer made the Misfits one because he loves the Misfits, and who doesn't?
Yeah, that was badass. But that Beyonce one killed me. Oh,
that was so
God.
great. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it in person. I don't have one.
Yeah, I haven't. I have the Misfits one. I don't have the Beyonce one.
Neither of us have the Beyonce one.
That's hilarious. It's all the same size too, right?
Yeah, all sevens.
Sevens?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right, so we got that out the way. So as far as recording and the music videos, we can talk about that. Y'all had the lyric video for Ruthless that y'all released. Now, when are you looking to actually shoot a full-blown music video?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we have lots of ideas. I mean, since the beginning of this band, we've probably gotten together 10 times to talk about music videos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Music videos are those elusive things to us where every time we set out to make it, some weird thing happens, and we end up having to call it quits on it. Yeah, so I mean, we actually have like, I feel like 2 or 3 really cool ideas for music videos right now that we could shoot, but yeah, there's just some extenuating circumstances right now that
it's usually always like one person doesn't like the idea, or we have this really extravagant idea and we can't find a location to do it or the means to do it.
Right.
But I think we got a couple that we could pull off.
Yeah.
We just have to make time to do it because we're going to do it ourselves. We can't afford to.
Matter of fact, the lyric video in itself was a day of Colton and I going out and doing a location shoot. So all of the imagery in there is from this old cotton mill up north of Georgetown, Granger. I think it's Granger. Where part of Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed.
Right.
So we were going up there just to shoot, to see what the lighting looked like and all that kind of stuff, because we were going to do actually a shoot out there for a video. And when that kind of got canned, it was like, well, we have all this footage. Like, let's just do a simple lyric video.
Right.
So, yeah. But hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
Soon.
future. Any song that y'all have been brainstorming on doing, or?
The idea for the music video is not really related to a song. It's kind of its own story.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have a new song that we haven't put out yet that's really short, so it'd be super easy to do a video too.
Right.
So we've kind of got that in the back of our minds, but I don't know if anything's solidified.
Yeah, I think a detriment to that is that we're trying to do something. We don't, I mean, obviously we did a lyric video, everybody does those. But we're trying to do something different. We don't want just, you know, us in a black room playing, or us making a cheesy zombie thing. You know, nothing against bands that are doing that, but like, we just want to do something different.
Right.
And not so much where it's like, oh, this story is about what the music is about. It's like, no, let's just come up with something cool. Again, I think it comes back down to the feeling for us. Like, just what are we feeling at the moment? Like, what's
Right.
cool, and can it be different?
Yeah, exactly. Because
So-
you want to stand out and,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, have people look at it and be like, oh, damn, this was very well put together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they share it with their people, and it's just,
Yeah. Which is
Like,
great, but sometimes obviously a detriment, because then you get 5 months down the road and we still haven't done a music video.
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, eventually you'll be getting into it.
Yeah.
Now, as far as recording your EPs, where do y'all record at?
So the first one we recorded with Keith from Designs. He works out of a studio called Sweet 2E, and yeah, we recorded that in
Keith
2
what?
days. Keith Hernandez.
I'm gonna make a call to that. It's gonna be a callback.
And
Your turn. And then, so both of the people we were recorded with, their both last names are Hernandez.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We only record with Hispanic people.
It is Texas. So.
It is Texas. We feel like we're white enough. We need some people of color. No. Get real weird real quick. Andrew Hernandez has been a longtime friend of mine. He's done tons of records. Most notably for The Sword, he did some stuff. He did some stuff for Mammoth Grinder. But yeah, he's just been a friend of mine, and he is a badass engineer. He's one of those guys that you meet and he's like low-key hardcore kid. Like he mainly listens to like just like indie or soft stuff, but then like you'll start talking about some like old school hardcore band. He's like, oh yeah, like this record, and you're like, wait, what, dude?
Yeah, right.
What? And so he was just, we were it's a new record, we wanted to do something new. He had the ability to record us on tape, so and he's really good at mixing on the fly, so we know we could get a live recording from him, and it sounded really good. So yeah, both completely different studios, completely different experiences, but both really positive, I think.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, for this newer stuff, we went back to Keith at Sweet 2E to do 2 more songs.
And then another friend of mine named Ward Rogers, he recorded another 2 songs that we'll hopefully be putting out soon.
Awesome. Okay. Now let's go ahead and hop into record label as far as who you guys are signed to. But first, want to mention Pluto Records for the first EP. I know they worked with I believe As I Lay Dying from like 2001, 2003, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And how was it working with those guys at first, and how did that all come about?
Brian's amazing. He's still a friend. I've known Brian since early 2000s. one of my older bands, actually, that Aaron and I were in, that I was talking about earlier, we're going to work with them. But really it came about through Ian, our at the time bass player, because Designs had just worked with Brian in Pluto to release something. And so when we were about to release our EP, it was just like, well, no harm in asking. So it was just that simple. And it was more of a favor that he did for us. Pluto is not really officially, still putting out bands or anything. It's more, well, whatever. But yeah, so I mean, that's how it came about. Just, we knew him. It was like, hey man, want to do us a solid? Done. So, yeah.
Awesome. And currently you're with Blasphemer and Coin Toss, or is it one or the other? How
so that was also kind of the same kind of deal, just like, hey, we got this record, do you want to help us put it out? Ian, again, was the guy who knew Ryan from Blasphemer and Indy from Coin Toss, and they said yes. So they helped us put it out, but we're not really signed. It was just like they put out the records for us, and with this next stuff, we'll probably end up just putting it out ourselves. I don't think Blasphemer is doing anything anymore. He was kind of going back and forth with the idea of if he still wanted to or not. And Coin Toss is definitely still doing stuff, but I don't think we're going to put out another physical record. I think we'll probably just mainly do digital. Vinyl's expensive.
Right.
For right now.
Yeah.
For right now, yeah. We're actually going to be doing 4 new songs. I'm sure we'll get into that, but some really cool online stuff that we're going to be doing.
Okay. Awesome. Now I know Blasphemer is located in North Carolina. I saw, and I was just kind of confused. It's like how y'all reach out to them. Did y'all just reach out to them hey, look, this is what we got?
So,
there's this thing called the internet. It's pretty new.
No, it was Ian, our bass player at the time. He has been in a hardcore band since the early 90s. He was in a band called Channel. And Ryan from Blasphemer was a huge fan of Channel back in the day. So I think that's how they met. And then it was all Ian. He knows a ton of people, so he was friends with them. And it's like, hey, I'm putting out new music. I want to help us out. So
we don't. Coin Toss, Indy's in Arizona, I think.
Yeah.
Arizona. So
that's awesome. And as far as being signed to a label, anybody try to reach out to you guys, or do you guys reach out to other label companies, or
vice versa? Nothing's really stuck though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We've reached out a lot. We've gotten asked by a couple smaller labels, but we haven't really had anything that interests us, or
of course
anybody that has interest in us.
Yeah, right. You don't want to just hop into the first thing that comes up either.
Yeah.
Want to just take it as the best offer and go from there. So
yeah.
Now going into the shows that y'all play a ton of shows in the Austin area. What would you say your favorite venue to play in is?
Favorite venue?
And why?
I really like the Mohawk.
The Mohawk.
Mohawk.
Yeah, I think it's different for me as far as sound-wise or crowd-wise. I think it's all different.
Yeah, I think favorite crowd to play to, we played a show at Sidewinder, and that was probably our funnest crowd to play to. But as far as where you set up your gear and how accommodating the venue is and how good the sound is, I think mine's probably Mohawk.
Mohawk is really great. Over on the east side, there's a bar called the Lost Well.
Yeah.
That's it's just a bar, and they always have cool bands playing there, and it's real low key. The stage is 6 inches high.
Yes.
But everybody that works there is super legit. They take care of their bands. So yeah, Lost Well and the Mohawk, I think.
There used to be a DIY venue called Shirley's Temple.
Right.
That place was awesome, but it's unfortunately no longer around.
Damn. And then also you guys play the shows outside of Austin as well, Denton, San Antonio. Where do you guys plan to venture out to next?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Anywhere we can go.
Anywhere we can go.
And when people go to your shows, what should they expect?
Music.
Loud music. Very
loud music. Yeah. Heavy music. Because we're heavy.
Yeah.
Musically.
And physically.
And physically.
Any tour dates or shows you guys want to mention?
We're playing March. Let me get the
A
date.
really trail of Guilt,
Black Ops.
Black Ops, like some like super legit hardcore bands at Mohawk.
Friday, March 23rd.
Friday, March 23rd. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that should be a pretty fun show.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as far as any like tours, y'all plan on like doing any type of tour or trying to go on tour with anybody? Or
Yeah.
I don't know about with anybody, but
If anybody would have us, we'd love to. But as for right now, probably just go out on our own and look at ourselves.
go for it.
We don't really have any plans right now, but it's definitely something we're trying to do.
Get your name out there.
Yeah.
Help out a lot.
Exactly.
All right. Now, as far as the future goes, now that 2018 is upon us, what are your plans just for this year alone?
releasing more music. So we are going to be doing straight online releases of these 4 new songs that we have. Each song has a unique graphic for it. There's some more behind that we might release physically. But yeah, so I think we decided each month. So starting in March, the next 4 months, we'll be releasing 4 new singles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
And after this year, what is the future for the Bearer, or like what is the dream? That the end
The
game?
dream.
That's kind of the big question actually
Yeah.
for us right now. So we've been having a fill-in bass player. So we've been bass playerless for a while.
Who was it? Angelo, right?
Angelo
From
from
the Vinus.
Vinus
Right.
has graciously been helping us out. So doing that and just some other changes that we're growing through, you could say.
Right.
So it's kind of exciting because we're in a new point of the Bear where we still have, our direction coming. We have those 4 songs coming out, but we're in a really prime spot to kind of pick up a new torch. You could say, kind of. I mean, the sky's the limit. We can do whatever we want, kind of thing.
Right.
So. I don't know what the future looks like for us.
Yeah.
It's definitely filled with playing music
Yeah.
Right.
and doing what we want to do.
Right, exactly.
I can say that.
Yeah.
I feel like is
I mean, the dream obviously is to be able to quit your job and just play music for a living.
Of course.
How you get there is the part that we're trying to figure out.
Yeah. Of course, you have those trials and
Yeah.
tribulations and stuff. You just got to overcome those. So,
Right.
it'll come to you guys. So
We'll see.
yeah, right. All right. So be sure to check out The Bearer. Their latest EP, Fiction, is on Spotify, iTunes. Also check out their Bandcamp as well as their self-titled EP. And go out, buy it, rock out with your cock out, and just have a good time. Also check them out on social media. I want to go ahead and give you a social media out.
Yeah, so we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Everything is at The Bearer Band, so check it out.
Awesome. Any shout outs you guys want to do?
Oh, gosh.
Colton single and
Yeah.
Ready
What's
to
up?
mingle,
right
right?
is ready to mingle.
Did I mention he's in a band? Right.
No, I guess mainly just Aaron, our vocalist, Ian, and Austin, the guys that have helped us on this journey.
And Angelo from the Vinus.
Angelo.
Mhm.
So, yeah, the Bear has been kind of a family. It's not just us two. So,
Right.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was good chatting it up with you guys. So thanks for
Absolutely.
coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So that's all we have today. This is your host Johnny Zex with the Devil's Mic. Again, just want to let you know, just check these guys out. Go check them out live. Do whatever you got to do, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace.